Namaskar, everybody. I'm sorry I'm a bit late today. I'm so sorry. I'm terribly late. Uh, can you see me? Uh, I'm ready with the quiz I told you yesterday that we'd play a very small quiz. Again, the quiz is of 10 questions only. So, and then we will read again some important poems by William Wordsworth. I'm not today checking how many eyes are looking at me today, but yes, I think you must be all here around me. पहले तो आप ये बताइए आप सब लोग कैसे हैं? कोरोना की पेशेंट्स बढ़ रहे हैं और ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा चिंता है हमें, मुझे बहुत टेंशन हो रही है 2 दिन से। आपने देखा होगा कि आई वॉज नॉट वेरी चीयरफुल फीलिंग नॉट थ्रू आउट द डे। एक्चुअली दिन कब गुजर जाता है पता ही नहीं चलता। खूब पढ़ाई का मन करता है बट मन नहीं भी करता है। सो मुझे नहीं लगता आप लोग ज़्यादा यंग हैं मुझसे। मुझे लगता है कि आप लोगों में ज़्यादा टेस्टोस्टेरोन होगा, लेवल हाई होगा, तो आप लोग थोड़ा कम डिप्रेशन में आ रहे होंगे। एग्जैक्टली डिप्रेशन तो नहीं कह सकता बट टेंशन बहुत ज़्यादा है कि अब कैसे घर से बाहर निकले अगर ये हाल रहा तो। और टीवी पे जो न्यूज़ आ रही हैं वो भी बहुत डिस्टर्ब करने वाली आ रही हैं। देख रहा हूँ कि भारत एक बहुत ही मल्टीकल्चरल कंट्री है और क्या बदनुमा दाग भारत पे लग रहा है कुछ खास लोगों की वजह से। और उस कम्युनिटी में भी सारे लोग ऐसे नहीं हैं। मैं पर्सनली कई लोगों को जानता हूँ और अभी इंडिया टीवी पे मैं देख रहा था कि किस तरह से बड़े बड़े मौलवी आकर के और सबको समझा रहे हैं कि भाई ये दूसरों की जान बचाना भी सबाब का काम है और हम चाहेंगे कि ये जो अब तक एकता चली आई है वो ऐसे कैसी रहे और कुछ बुद्धू लोगों की वजह से कहीं खतरे में ना पड़ जाए। भारत जिंदा रहे और टेंशन है हम सबको। ये दिन हमें देखना पड़ा, बड़ा अजीब लगेगा और आप लोग भी टेंशन में होंगे जहाँ तक मेरा ख्याल है। हालांकि मैंने कहा कि आप लोग ज़्यादा यंग हो तो यंग लोगों को टेंशन कम होती है। ओके, शुरू करते हैं। yesterday some people requested me to be in English only, but then I found like to some of my students they feel more attracted if I be bilingual. Okay, then let me begin my questions. First of all, are you ready? Because I have decided, though I will also take into consideration your views. You can write on the channel and you can personally write to me and tell me. What I have decided that I'll be touching upon the major works of almost all the romantic writers, so that जैसे आप जानते हो ना कि कुछ कुछ चीज़ें हमारी मेमोरी में चली जाती हैं। जैसे आपने अगर लाइव क्लास अटेंड करके मुझसे कोई बात सुनी है और आप दोज हु आर वाचिंग मी राइट नाउ एंड आर माय क्लास स्टूडेंट्स, दे नो कि क्लास तो चलो इट्स अ रूटीन थिंग, तो बट लेकिन आप यहाँ सुनोगे तो समवेयर इट विल बिकम एन इंसिडेंट एंड यू विल बी एबल टू रिमेंबर इट फॉर एवर। सो चाह रहा हूँ कि मैक्सिमम वर्क्स की बात करूँ आपसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, ताकि आप उसको याद रख सकें। हालांकि टू टीच अ पोएम दिस वे विदाउट एनी डिस्कशन इट्स अ वन साइडेड गेम आई थिंक, और वो मज़ा नहीं आता उसमें। बट हेयर आई एम मोर कंसर्न विद योर नॉलेज, अपग्रेडेशन ऑफ योर नॉलेज, देन कि मुझे अच्छा लगे या ना लगे। ओके, मैंने कल भी एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था, आई रिपीट इट, कि कॉलरिज हैज़ रिटन अ प्ले in 1803. Can you tell me its name? Coleridge wrote a play. Can you tell me its name? I'm asking this question again because this is important. From the kind of questions I have collected, this kind of quiz I have already played in many classes of mine, and students were surprised when they really saw the same questions there in the exam. So you should not take them lightly. Okay, then I tell you the name. The name of the play is Remorse. It is a play written by Coleridge. Then another question. It was a repetition, but now this is not a repetition, but repetition in the sense that this question appeared in net 2018. Who was presented by Shelley through a character in Julian and Medallo, 1818. I repeat my question that There is a problem actually. There is a problem in the battery and I'm unable to ऐसा लगा होगा भूचाल आ गया. Okay. Recollection of tour. Okay. No. Who was presented by Shelley through a character in Julian and Medallo, 1818. The poem was published in 1818. Okay. The answer is Byron. He has written a poem Julian and Medallo. A question already net mein aa rakha hai, students. You should follow this question. I think I won't be able to take a very longer class today. Before it, actually, I was making a video on cultural studies. I have already uploaded it on my YouTube channel. You can watch it there because there is a problem of electricity in my area and this mobile is not charged. Only 20% battery is there. I beg your pardon. जितना हो सकता है अपन करते हैं और अगर वो अचानक से कनेक्शन कट हो जाए तो आप समझ जाना कि something is wrong with me. Next important question is who wrote the necessity of atheism? Another question is who wrote necessity of atheism? Any idea? I give you options. Byron, Shelley, Keats or Robert Sade. Who wrote the necessity of atheism? You know, out of these four writers, who was atheist? Shelley was atheist. He did not believe in God. As you all know that he was influenced by Godwin, and Godwin was also atheist. He married Godwin's daughter, Mary Shelley. Okay, now next question. You all know that romantic writers were critics also, and every critic, every poet has written criticism in one or the other way. Like Coleridge has written a book, Biographia Literaria on criticism. Wordsworth has written Preface to Lyrical Ballad, which we discussed yesterday. In the same way, Keats was also a critic, but the question is, Keats' critical views appears in his poetry, play, letters, none. I repeat my question. Keats' critical views appears in his poetry, play, letters, none. As you all know that he has written poetry, but we don't find any critical view of this writer in his poetry, so poetry is not the answer. Play, Keats has not written a single play. This is also not the answer. Fourth option is none. So the answer is letters. You all know I have uploaded a very small video on negative capability. When you see that, you come to know that I have talked about that this negative capability is a term he used in a letter which he wrote to his brother. Actually he used to आज के पहले के ज़माने के जो बड़े बड़े राइटर्स होते थे, जब मैंने पीएचडी किया तो हमें हमारे राइटर के ऊपर जो लेटर्स का कलेक्शन है उसको भी क्रिटिसिज्म के तौर पे लेना पड़ता है. जो भी कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस वो लोग करते हैं, आने वाले समय में शायद बड़े बड़े राइटर्स पे जब पीएचडी होगी तो उनके ईमेल्स स्टडी किए जाएंगे या उनके ट्वीट्स को कहा जाएगा कि उन्होंने एक ज़माने में ये ट्वीट लिखा था. सो देयर क्रिटिकल व्यूज़ आर इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड दे whatever, as you know that whatever I say right now, whatever I say in my video, whatever I say in the casual remark in class, I think these are my views. Or in the same manner, jab these writers used to write letters, so their criticism or their critical theory or they used to be critics, you know, and their theories can be they I cannot say critics are not saying that they are systematic works of criticism, but yeah, their works of or their critical minds or their critical ideas can be collected through these letters. Okay, कीट्स की एक बहुत फेमस पोएम है, अगर आपको याद हो तो, ला बेले डेम सेंस मर्सी. Do you have any idea that this poem is what? Is it an ode or it is a sonnet, it is a lyric, or it is a lyrical ballad? What is it? Is it an ode, or a sonnet, or a lyric, or a lyrical ballad? As you know that there is a story in this poem, so we can say that this poem is neither an ode, or sonnet, or lyric. It is a lyrical ballad, because ballad is it is written in the four-line stanza, and it talks about some story of femme fatale. Okay. Another important question is, there is one less known writer, Leigh Hunt, from Romantic period. He has written a very famous poem, which is always the part of studies when we study for Romantic revival or Romantic period for net. I name certain poems. Swati has given a correct answer, ballad. I name certain works, and you have to find out that Leigh Hunt's famous poem's name is. Is it The Indicator? The options are also important, because you know that from these options also certain questions can come. The Indicator, The Story of Rimini, Lala Rookh, or The Village Minstrel. Now this is again a very simple question. Yesterday we talked about Lala Rookh, I think, but answer is The Story of Rimini, written by Leigh Hunt. The Story of Rimini. Now it is your homework today. You should study about the story of Rimini. A very, very famous poem. In almost all the books of the history of English literature, there comes the reference of this poem. And another important question is, who is called the father of historical novel? Who is called the father of historical novel? I give you some options. First is Henry Fielding. Second is Jane Austen. Third is Washington Irving. And the fourth one is Sir Walter Scott. Whom do you consider the father of historical novel? I give you again this homework that today, throughout the day, you should study the major works of. Yesterday also, I give you a hint that yesterday also I talked about this writer in the option when I gave you the Lay of the Last Minstrel. So the answer is Sir Walter Scott. You should write down the full name of Sir Walter Scott. What is his contribution in poetry? What is his contribution in novel writing? And I have not seen a single net where they don't ask you a question on Walter Scott. It means this writer is important. Apart from that, who became almost suddenly famous, that it tarnished the fame of Sir Walter Scott. That is also a point which is mostly studied in classrooms wherever teachers are teaching Romantic revival. So the answer is Sir Walter Scott is called the father of historical novel. Another important question: who wrote the Life of Napoleon? Who wrote the Life of Napoleon? This is again an important question, because Napoleon has been considered to be a very great name. And Life of Napoleon, the book was published in 1827, so it's very much in the period of Romantic revival. Options are Jane Austen. Do you think like Jane Austen wrote about Life of Napoleon? No. Thomas Love Peacock. Thomas Love Peacock is again a great name, but he has not written. He wrote the Four Ages of Poetry, on which Shelley, wrote an apology and defense of poesy. Washington Irving. Washington Irving is famous, as you know, that from American perspective. And the fourth option is Sir Walter Scott. So the answer is Sir Walter Scott. Life of Napoleon is a book written by Sir Walter Scott. Next question is, what do you know about Charles Lamb? Most of us are aware that Charles Lamb has written essays of Ilya. I'll also devote one particular class on Charles Lamb, also on live class, where I'll be touching upon almost all the gist of the major essays of this writer, and his biography also, his criticism also, his plays also. Vishaka Agnihotри's answer is no. This is not correct answer, beta. I have come to the next question now. Life of Napoleon by a romantic writer में answer है Walter Scott. Next question is Charles Lamb, as I was talking about that he is famous for essay writing. Yesterday I also asked a question about that he has also collected a book on the stories from Shakespearean plays. But do you know that he is a poet also? Having any idea that he was a poet also? No idea? Okay. Then I'm write down two particular poems. These are very, very famous. Charles Lamb is known for, and today I'm giving you a task that you should read these two poems. Not very big poems, and you will come to know that the way he has written the diction. Anil Sharma is watching me. Namaskar sir, how are you? दोनों बच्चियां कैसी हैं सर? Write down the names of the two poems. Though I'm asking you, the question is in this shape that Charles Lamb's The Old Familiar Faces. The name of the poem is The Old Familiar Faces, and the second question is To Hester, Hester. You all know that Hester is also the name of the heroine of the Scarlet Letter written by Hawthorne, but here it is nothing to do with that heroine. So these two poems are very famous. So the question was in the shape that Charles Lamb's The Old Familiar Faces and To Hester are his well-known what? As you all know that most of the students will write that, suppose they give you as options, as I have options ready, poem, essay, play, or a lecture. So you all know that most of the students will tick mark essay because he was an essay writer, but no, these are on the contrary two famous poems written by this writer. It's a homework that you should all read. अनिल सर मैं नेट JRF के बच्चों को पढ़ा रहा हूँ ऑनलाइन एक्चुअली बिकॉज मुझे किसी ने कहा कि दूसरे ऐप्स डाउनलोड करना तो और भी खतरनाक है आजकल किसी वजह से सो मैं थोड़ा आई एम स्केयर्ड एंड आई एम टेकिंग द क्लास लाइव आप you have already a great knowledge of English, so you can enjoy the class. So friends, these were some of the questions. One more question I have. This is the last question in this session. Who among the following joined East India Company? So बताने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. As you all know that Charles Lamb was associated with East India Company, so there is no need to read the names of the writers. Apart from that, you should also study today that Charles Lamb, who wrote essays, did he publish all these essays in the book form, or these essays were published in some magazine? Or you should study the kind of magazines I will also devote one lecture on the kind of magazines which were famous in Romantic age, and these writers when they used to write which magazines and their publishers name. You all should know that these days they have started asking us the names of the magazines and their publishers. Even the date of publication so far we were preparing, but they have also started asking us the names of the publishers also. So which magazines were famous in those age and these writers, most of the writers, their writings were published in installments in those magazines. So this is all about today's question session. And now the battery is very less. I'm just reading one poem by William Wordsworth, VR7. It is said that this poem is very famous. In this poem, Wordsworth was going somewhere, and then he stayed in a motel kind of thing, in a cottage somewhere, and there he witnessed a girl. It was informed to him that these children were 7 brothers and sisters, but 2 were dead, but that girl was insisting that we are still 7. So they have asked a question in net regarding this poem, so I'm reading it. We are 7. Write it down so that you can read it at home. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb, what should it know of death? I met a little cottage girl. She was 8 years old, she said. Her hair was thick with many a curl that clustered round her head. She had a rustic woodland air, and she was wildly clad. Clad means kapde pehne hue the. Wildly clad means to say roughly clad. Her eyes were fair and very fair. Her beauty made me glad. So you can see that the poet is not using any diction, any tough words, and there is a flow of a kind of ballad because the poem is written in 4-line stanza. Sisters and brothers, little maid, how many may you have, may you be? How many? 7 in all, she said, and wondering looked at me. So the poet has shown to us that, in a very childish manner, or childish manner, she was answering by looking at the writer. And where are they? I pray you tell, the poet says. She answered, 7 are we, and 2 of us at Conway dwell, and 2 are gone to sea. Now, Conway dwell mean to say that graveyard, where they were buried. Conway dwell, 2 are gone to sea. 2 of us in the churchyard lie. Conway is not the churchyard, I'm sorry. She's talking about the churchyard where she's playing right now. 2 of us in the churchyard lie, my sister and my brother. And in the churchyard cottage, I dwell near them with my mother. कर्सर ज़्यादा दब गया. With my mother. You say that 2 at Conway dwell and 2 are gone to sea, yet ye are 7, I pray you tell, sweet maid, how this may be. The writer is showing his surprise that if 2 are in the churchyard, it means you are 5 now, but that girl insists, she says, then did the little maid reply, 7 boys and girls are we, 2 of us in the churchyard lie, beneath the churchyard tree. You run about, my little maid, the poet says. You run about, my little maid. Your limbs, they are alive. If 2 are in the churchyard laid, then ye are only 5. He insists. Their graves are green, they may be seen, the little maid replies. Now this is the importance of a nature poet, that he has created a character, and that character says that the people who are burnt, the people who are buried in the grave, if green grass is growing on them, it means they are too much live, like grass. I repeat this line. Their graves are green, they may be seen, the little maid replied, 12 steps or more from my mother's door, and they are side by side. It means, and she also insists that, they are very much near to us. My stockings there I often knit. It means she says that, she must be sitting somewhere near, the graves and must be knitting. So she says that my stockings there I often knit. My kerchief there I hem. Kerchief means handkerchief. And there upon the ground I sit and sing a song of them. It means the girl 2% battery. I beg your pardon, friends. I won't be able to continue. You can check me after half an hour if I find that there is a situation favorable. I would be coming live again. So thank you very much.